Hello, my name is James Salt and welcome to my presentation on my first assignment in the nutrition module of my Level 3 BTEC Extended Diploma in Sports and Exercise Science. This presentation is going to be on nutrition and digestion. There are 7 key nutrients within the body. These are carbohydrates, fats, fibre, minerals, protein, vitamins and water. I'm going to talk about all 7 of these nutrients to you and talk about their different functions, food sources where we can get these nutrients from, and general information about them. The majority of these 7 nutrients fit into either macronutrients or micronutrients. Macronutrients are nutrients that we need a lot of in our diet because they give us the most energy. Micronutrients are nutrients that we don't need much of in our diet. Firstly, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are a macronutrient. Carbohydrates should make up at least 50 to 60% of our diet. However, some athletes may need 70%, may need carbohydrates to make up 70% of their diet. This will help provide them with energy for training and matches. Also, 1 gram of carbohydrates is equal to 4 kilocalories of energy. The function and role of carbohydrates are to supply the body with energy. Before they are used, they are converted into glucose. Stored glucose is also known as glycogen. There are 2 types of carbohydrates. These are simple and complex carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates are known as monosaccharides or disaccharides. Examples of simple carbohydrates include sport drinks, sugar and jam. Simple carbohydrates are the quickest way of getting energy. This is because they don't take long to digest. Complex carbohydrates are known as polysaccharides. These carbohydrates are more filling due to nutrient density. This means that they are more filling because they contain fibre, for example. Examples of complex carbohydrates include bread, rice and pasta. Both types of carbohydrates satisfy the needs of the body. On to fats. Fats are also a macronutrient. Fats should make up 30 to 35% of your diet. From this overall percentage, saturated fats should be 11%, monounsaturated fats should be 13%, and polyunsaturated fats should be 6.5%. Also, 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 kilocalories of energy. Fats have quite a few roles, as you can see. Firstly, one of their roles is to help the protection of the internal organs in our body. Fats also help your body to maintain its core internal temperature. This is also known as thermoregulation. They also give our bodies energy and help the process of growth and repair. Fats also contain a lot of flavour, and that is why we love eating them so much. There are 3 different types of fat that we need to know about. They were mentioned in the first part of this slide when talking about the recommended intake. The 3 different fats are saturated fats, monounsaturated fats, and polyunsaturated fats. Examples of saturated fats are butter, cream, cakes, and chocolate. Examples of monounsaturated fats are olive oil, peanuts, and peanut butter. Finally, examples of polyunsaturated fats are sunflower oil, oily fish, and nuts. Fibre. Fibre is either a macro or micronutrient. The recommended intake of fibre is 18 grams per day. There are 2 types of fibre, insoluble and soluble. Insoluble fibre cannot dissolve in water and it helps your digestive system to work. This fibre can be found in oats. Soluble fibre can dissolve in water. You can find soluble fibre in foods like vegetables. These work really well as a soluble fibre as you don't have to worry about how much you eat of them, so they help your weight management. Minerals. Minerals are a micronutrient. There are 2 different types of minerals, and within these 2 types there are different minerals that I'm going to talk about. Zinc, calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium and iron. The recommended intake for these are as follows. Zinc 12 to 20 milligrams, calcium 1200 milligrams, potassium 1 gram, sodium 5 to 10 grams, magnesium 5 milligrams and iron 18 milligrams. There are various functions of minerals. Firstly, the role of zinc is to help assist in the transport of carbon dioxide. The function of calcium is to help muscle contraction and bone formation. Potassium is really useful for nerve impulses. Sodium has a big role in maintaining your water balance. Magnesium has a very important role in reproductive functions. Finally, iron helps the formation of hemoglobin. The two different types of minerals are macrominerals and trace minerals. Macrominerals are minerals that your body needs in large quantities. These minerals include calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. Trace minerals are only needed in small quantities. These include iron, copper, and zinc. Food examples of minerals include Brazil and cashew nuts, milk, chicken, lean meat, and tuna. On to protein. Protein is our last macronutrient. Protein should make up 15% of our diet. Also, 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 kilocalories of energy. The roles of protein are for growth and repair of the muscles in our body, and it is also a secondary energy source for us. There are two types of protein. There are complete proteins and incomplete proteins. Proteins are made up of amino acids. There are 20 amino acids, and our body requires all 20 of them. There are 8 essential amino acids and 12 non-essential amino acids. Foods that contain all 20 amino acids are known as complete proteins. Examples of complete proteins are meat, fish, eggs, and milk. Incomplete proteins are obviously foods that don't contain all 20 amino acids. Examples of incomplete proteins are cereals, bread, rice, and pasta. Vitamins are our final micronutrient. There are 6 different vitamins, and each of them have different amounts of intake you should be taking. So the 6 vitamins are vitamins A, B, C, D, E, and K. The recommended intake for vitamin A is 0.7 milligrams a day. Vitamin B is 40 milligrams a day. Vitamin C is 1 milligram a day. You don't actually have to intake any vitamin D, as the majority of it comes from sunlight. Vitamin E is 4 milligrams a day, and finally, vitamin K is 0.001 milligrams a day. There are functions to all 6 vitamins. The function of vitamin A is that it is good for your sight and it helps to keep your skin nice and healthy. The function of a vitamin B is that it produces energy and it helps you when performing, as you will be able to last longer. The vitamin C is part of your immune system. The function of vitamin D is that it helps strengthen your muscles and it assists muscle contractions. The function of vitamin E is to help protect the cell walls. Finally, the function of vitamin K is that it helps assist blood clotting. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are fat-soluble vitamins, and they are all stored in the adipose tissue. This is a loose connective tissue, and its main role is to store energy in the form of fat. It also cushions and insulates the body. Vitamins B and C are water-soluble vitamins, and they can be excreted through urine. Food examples of fat-soluble vitamins include fish, cheese, milk, and nuts. Food sources of water-soluble vitamins include raspberries, avocado, kiwi, and cauliflower. Water. The recommended daily intake of water is 6 to 8 cups per day, and that is roughly 2 litres worth. One of the functions of water is to prevent you from being dehydrated. You need to stay hydrated because you lose water through breathing, sweating, and digestion. Another function is that water helps to regulate your body temperature. This is also known as thermoregulation. Thermoregulation is a process which allows your body to maintain its core internal temperature. There are different types of water around, as you can see when you visit supermarkets and other shops. Mainly it's still or sparkling water. All branded water is different. The purest water around is the water with a pH closest to 7, which is neutral. The Evian bottles of water have a pH of 7.5. Some foods do actually contain a lot of water. It is mainly vegetables, for example cauliflower, eggplant, red cabbage, peppers, and spinach are 93% water. There are three different parts to the digestive system that I'm going to talk to you about. These include digestion, absorption, and excretion. Firstly, digestion is purely the breakdown of foods when we swallow them, so that it makes it manageable for our bodies to deal with whilst it is inside of us. Absorption is when the foods are broken down. It is then to collect and absorb all of the important and healthy nutrients from those foods into our body. Finally, excretion is just getting rid of and eliminating all of the waste products left over from the foods we have eaten. Onto the purpose game. Throughout this purpose game, I will go through it and explain each of the parts of the digestive system and label them correctly to you. So firstly, we have the rectum. The rectum is here just above the anus. The rectum just pushes all of the indigestible food through to the anus, ready for excretion. The small intestine is here. The small intestine has these finger-like structures called villi. These structures help to increase the surface area of the small intestine. This is where absorption happens because of its surface area. It means that the body can absorb all of the important nutrients to put into the bloodstream, which we can utilise and use for ourselves. The mouth. Digestion begins in the mouth. Your teeth and jaw grinds down the food, help it go down your esophagus. The mouth is just here. The esophagus. The esophagus is a tube here, which after you've eaten the food, it gets transported down this tube to the stomach. This process is also known as peristalsis. The large intestine. The large intestine is here. When food or chyme, which I'll come on to in a minute, gets to the large intestine, it is mainly fluid or indigestible food. From here it passes it onto the rectum. The stomach. The stomach is here in the middle of the digestive system. The stomach is like a large mixing bowl. The food that goes into the stomach is churned up and then produces the liquid called chyme. The liver. The liver is here. The liver makes juices to help the flow of digestion happen smoothly. The anus is just here at the bottom. This is the last stage of the digestive system. This is where excretion happens and just removes all of the indigestible products that we have inside of us. The gallbladder is here. The gallbladder is here, and this stores concentrated bile, which is a digestive juice which helps the breaking down of foods. The duodenum. This is a tube here that goes from the stomach to the small intestine, and this tube is like a pathway for food to travel from the stomach to the small intestine. The pancreas is just here. The pancreas produces these juices which help the process of digestion and the breakdown of foods to happen smoothly. The athlete I'm going to talk about is Mo Farah. Mo Farah is a great British Olympian who does long distance running. When Mo Farah prepares for a marathon or a race, he must consider all of the 7 nutrients in his diet to make sure he is fully prepared and ready for the challenge ahead of him. His diet prior to his event is very important. He should keep a balanced diet anyway, but I'm going to speak to you about his diet the day before the event, the day of the event, and the day after the event. So, as well as maintaining his balanced diet, he needs to know what he needs to eat in the period of time he is competing. So, if his competition is on the Saturday, on the Friday he should eat a lot of carbohydrates. The recommended intake for carbohydrates is 70% for an athlete. This is because they are a slow releasing energy source. So for example, for tea on the Friday night, he should maybe eat a bowl of pasta with chicken. Having this meal the night before will give him a positive impact on his performance, as theoretically he should be able to run for longer. On the day of his race, if he is racing